I've replaced the Maserati as well as an L200 and my Ford Mondeo estate with this. And at the moment I'm driving down the M4, trailer on the back, and I've got an automatic Ford Fiesta on the back. Another video. So one of the really nice things about this thing is the practicality. You can fit lots of stuff in it. With the rear seats folded down, it folds pretty much flat. It's a good amount of breeze blocks, quite a number of bags of cement, sand. I completely use and abuse this thing, right? We've even used the Panamera for a couple of little camping trips as well. Chuck a roof box on it, and yeah, if we can take a family of 4 plus 2 dogs for a week's camping, no problems. It's quite a modern Porsche interior on this. This was the first generation of Porsches with the interior design as is sort of the current design. It has got a decentish sat nav, but it doesn't. And it has Bluetooth connectivity, but there's no CarPlay or Android Auto. So I went down the route of upgrading, well, adding what you'd term a piggyback board into the Porsche PCM unit. You stitch in another PCB on top of the existing Porsche unit, and it sort of piggybacks onto it, holding down one of the buttons for a little bit, pops it into sort of CarPlay mode, and you get a different menu system, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, it was AliExpress, 100 and something quid, 150, 160 quid, something like that. And it was relatively straightforward to fit. 6 months later, this car starts behaving a little bit oddly. I started seeing voltage changes being registered that were a little bit all over the place. So you've kind of got a battery voltage view, and it was dropping, coming back, dropping, coming back. A little bit odd. Now, Panameras do have a smart charging system, so the alternator's not just sticking a fixed voltage back to the battery like most cars. It's kind of got a voltage management jobby, so when you're in just sort of normal cruise mode, if it doesn't need the power, it's only putting about 13.5 volts to the battery. If you drop it in sports mode, or you are, the battery voltage is relatively low, then it'll be putting the traditional sort of 14.5 up to sort of 14.7 volts into the car. The most odd behaviour and most problematic was the radio. Even though the car was off, completely off, parked up, the stereo would just turn itself on. It would then adjust its volume up to very, very loud. So it was kind of pretending to be a Tesla, basically. It wanted to do that thing where instead of having an alarm, it wanted to just play music very loud. It didn't drop the windows, thankfully, in the rain. That would have been a pain. So yeah, not great, because for starters, you'd get woken up in the middle of the night by a disco going on outside the house. Secondly, if we weren't there, you'd wake up in the morning to a completely dead battery because the car had been having a bit of a party. So you'll have to use your imagination with this in-car footage a little bit. But if you look at the little display to the right of the speedometer, we've got a little bar that's moving left and right. That's the battery voltage meter. It should be all the way over to the right at about sort of 13.5 up to 14.5 volts. As you can see, as we're going up this hill, it's dropping and going left, 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 left. It's actually showing, chopped it out, but it's actually showing something like 5 volts at the battery. So not good at all as you're cruising along. So expecting this thing to die at any moment, basically. And then giving it a bit of right-hand turn or something like that, it jumps back up, and we get back to sort of 10, 11 volts, and then go over a bump or something, it goes back down again. It stinks of like old dodgy cable on the alternator or something like that. It's not. It's all about the Apple CarPlay unit, so we need to get it out. So pulling the unit out is just the reverse of putting it back in, basically. It's just to pull this trim off. This one just clips in, just like that. It's just got some plastic clips behind it. So yeah. So this trim panel just here has another connector behind it. It's got a little sensor for something or other. So I'm just going to pop this down here out the way. I need to unconnect it. Right, and now we can get to this one just here. So the air vents themselves, they have little clips inside them that just push in against the side, which you can get a hook into to be able to pull them out. I've got a kit of various bits of removal tools and things like that. There's one with a little hook on it that should do the job to get into this. We've got these clips, so what we were trying to do was squeeze these things in. We were inserting through there and then wrapping around and then pulling it in just like that. There's 4 screws. You got one at the top, down there, and same on the other side. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I've got a little blanket as well, a bit of towel. Just pop that in front of this thing, just so I don't scratch the hell out of all the other buttons, and then you can just slide it forward, and there we go. I put it all back together and this car is back to normal. It's behaving properly. I've got the correct battery voltage showing, as I'd expect. Yes, I no longer have CarPlay, but you know what? I've also got no pain. So complete faff, bit of a waste of 150 odd quid. For the life of me, I did have a look at the cables and how they were situated and things like that. It all looked pretty good. So for it to be doing things like turning the power on and stuff like that randomly, yeah. So basically, cautionary tale, if your car starts playing up, if it starts doing odd things electronic wise, and you have got one of these aftermarket units fitted, might be worth considering that could be causing you some